to build up because the Meachams had their thing going. Madame Gao with the hand had her thing going, and then you get later on with Bakuto and his part of the hand going, and everything's trying to get the pieces moving together.
Yeah, kind of caved in on that stuff too early.
Yeah, and then you had the dad as well.
The dad.
Harold, yeah.
Harold Meacham.
Harold
and
Meacham,
then,
and yeah, that's.
And then the conflict raised anew with.
The friend.
Yeah, with Davos being betrayed
at the end,
by Danny.
which reminded me a lot of the disgruntled friend at the end of Doctor Strange. And like how many disgruntled friends are going to turn on you at the end of these stories? Like
and turn your your friends against you.
It just felt like I was should be out of character for them to go that drastic if they're going to be doing those things. And I didn't like that. Let me back. You had your hand up for a while.
Well, yeah. One thing I think that the biggest problem is that the villains there really wasn't a great villain. I thought that my biggest problem was that Harold Meacham was the guy the big fight at the end.
Yeah.
But this is a guy who they treat martial arts like superpowers, and the guy in the final fight is the guy who has shown he doesn't know martial arts. So it's like Superman fighting the robber across the street.
Yeah.
He just kind of put his hand through his. And he ends up falling off a building. So
I agree.
That was a good point.
Yeah, I think, and it ties back to the stuff we're saying. If you don't have a good established, clear-cut villain and someone who, that you want to see, and charismatic, and has all those qualities you want to see in a villain, it falls flat. Look, you look at every single successful movie or series, it had a strong villain. The protagonist has had the antagonist you want, the one you need to, how's he going to stop him? And if you don't have that threat raised, it was the same thing went with the hand. The hand had been built up, like you said, as this, sinister organization with the threat, just the mere mention of their name, and I don't know how you took it, and then you brought him down to a joke.
I wanted to go over a point with you on that. That was a good point that you made there.
Yeah.
How about this whole empty calorie moment with Madame Gao giving him that telekinetic thrust when Danny tried to confront him verbally about it?
Yeah.
And that was never seen again. It was like they were trying to keep her purpose more shrouded.
Yeah, I feel like I liked her in the beginning, but I was kind of hoping that she was going to play a better role, so I could at least get some action, because I don't really like her at the moment, because she just seems like she's just like, oh, you don't really know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like a teasing sociopath.
So
trying to get his go.
It's got to be like they're setting it up for nothing. But one thing I was kind of thinking with the hand is, and this is just an observation, I don't know if someone's come up with it.
Yeah.
Is the Bakuto's hand? Didn't they have the same plot as the Shredders group from the first two days? It's like take the disenfranchised kids and train them to be ninjas.
The secret of his ooze and full moon, right?
What I did enjoy, though, to set and they had set the table and built it up, is when he was running the gauntlet. I thought that was incredibly well done, and it ties into kind of what you were saying. You felt like he was on an inevitable clash with Madame Gao. Now, how this old lady was going to fight him and how they're going to make it work with stunt actress or whatever, I don't care. I would have suspended my disbelief, but I felt like he had to fight Madame Gao at the end, even if they were establishing, like Dan said, just a flick of her hand, he's blowing across the room. Well, what better threat have you built up? Like, how's he going to stop Madame Gao?
And then you're cutting that off by her.
Yeah.
Sure, she's incarcerated room. If she has that much to thrust at him, couldn't she just simply bust the window and then crawl out?
She's there by choice, obviously. I think is the only thing you can kind of make out from that. But I felt like, okay, well, unless they're thinking, hey, we've done so well, we're going to have a season 2, no doubt.
Right.
You don't want to pull a Green Lantern. You save Sinestro to a second film that never occurs. It's just you better use what you have at your disposal to make this season great. And that's kind of disappointing.
And I think the only fuel that they've given themselves to intrigue people is what happened with this sudden open of the portal to Kunlun.
Yeah.
Suddenly again, dead. His dead monk, mentors, and then you have this thing of Davos now working on Joy to turn her against Dan.
Yeah.
So he said, that's about the only things fueling it right now.
And you could kind of get a little of a Davos, it's like you need to be protecting. I mean, I don't know if I want to buy him as a full-fledged villain after that, though. I mean, it's kind of seems like
Just hurt.
you know.
He's just hurt.
Yeah.
I think he's supposed to be Iron Fist's version of Baron Mordo.
Yeah.
Basically, both of them were guys that thought they were going to get the status that the hero ended up getting, and they both turned to the dark side.
Yeah.
In a sense, because at least in the few things that I have seen outside of the series for Iron Fist, and I'm totally newbie for Iron Fist, but the things that I've seen is his strongest foes have been the guys that were jealous that he ended up with the mantle of
With Iron Fist,
Well, the fact that he's leaving himself out of his true purpose of using it, that's what makes him even more upset.
Yeah.
That he's wasting it away, and
he's not doing his job guarding the gate.
He's not doing his job guarding the gate. He's bleeding away his chi on all this, what he considers unnecessary tumult.
Yeah.
And, wasting away his chi and not being able to use it, and then losing it forever, potentially.
Yeah. Go ahead. Right. We'll just go like that. Go ahead.
I feel that I really like the cast for it. He looked the part, he talked the part very well.
Yeah.
And like you said, with some of the fight scenes, the choreograph is just a little too much.
Yeah.
How do you think they can maybe fix that going into like Defenders, where the choreograph just seems obvious? Unlike where you went with like Daredevil, where he's in the hallway and he's shooting the shadows.
Well, there's a reason for that, and that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
The choreography suffered because they were able to stick a stuntman in Charlie Cox's, outfit you don't know, whereas Danny Rand was uncovered most of the time. It was harder.
Yeah, I know.
So they know it was less training.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
Do you think
they want to give him a stuntman in the Iron Fist vest and hood?
Yeah, you need to give him his hat, give him that half mask. I mean, where was that? Like where was his mask? I mean, give us.
running around, I'm Danny Rand, I'm Iron Fist. Like,
give us something. I felt like that part was missing. I mean, you didn't really give us, much of Iron Fist in it. Enough to like, okay, it's like I think he wore a green sweatshirt, I think once, and it like that's the only nod we got in it. So I think that's an excellent point. They need to, in order to do that and to make the fights look better, you need trained stuntmen.
I mean, the Chinese footage that they had of like the flashback, like that's what I was kind of expecting going into that, where he's dual wielding his chi in both fists and just like completely wrecking people, and it was not that.
Oh, in that old sequence where he's going like with both the Iron Fist.
That's why I think it's going to get better. And he made an excellent point. It's basically, you're going to have to cover. You had to use the guys that are there for.
They're there for.
Yeah, that's what you're paying a stuntman for. Go ahead.
As far as the costume goes, maybe in Defenders we'll see Danny Rand get Daredevil's hand-me-downs.
I know, the original black one, if you just color it differently,
He's gonna spray paint it like Bruce Wayne with the Batman.
Dip it in yellow paint, you got the Iron Fist mask, Yeah, I mean, I would have enjoyed anything, give us something, because it is it seems silly after a while at them just. Sooner or later you got to learn a lesson. You can't be you're very noticeable. The villains can see you coming. You don't have a mask on. Hey, it's Danny Rand again. Nothing scary about that. And back, go ahead. Go back to you.
Yeah, I'm completely neutral on a lot of this, and after Iron Fist, it completely left me confused with the hand. Is it one big organization or is it multiple splinter organizations?
I think they established that there was a kind of rogue offshoot. The finger. One of the fingers. So the hand. If you watch, was Iron Fist the first one you watched?
Well, Daredevil was the first one.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. So I think in that, I mean, thankfully you watched Daredevil first, so like you can actually know what the hand probably supposed to be. And I think just hold on to that and hope when the hand reappears that it's the hand from Daredevil, not the hand from Iron Fist. Jeff, go ahead.
I really think about this Iron Fist, like they realized that the money was coming in, that they had more stable times, so they thought they could just reboot it and then maybe catch up in the Defenders.
Yeah.
So I feel like there might be hope for him and the Defenders, like get the cost and get everything he needs. Cause like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and those were like, let's do this, see if it works, we give it all we have. Whereas for Iron Fist, like, oh, we know it's gonna be making money, let's maybe try it later on if it doesn't work, and we can get the cash back.
Yeah, I felt like there was something going on in like either something got delayed or something, and then something got rushed, or the gentleman said here, they found like, oh hey, it's not working, we gotta, and then scrap it. Yeah, and then and it shows though. I mean, you might as well just push it back. But I mean, if you're dealing with he has to be a part of the Defenders, this is the series that suffered because they had to speed up. Like, hey, we got other plans.
The series before it, and Defenders is coming out in August.
Yeah, I mean, they really make them desperate, and I think they probably knew that something was going to suffer from it. How bad? Maybe not. Maybe as they realize. But
I think their thinking is, hurry up, get this out of the way, let's get Defenders, it'll bring in a bigger crowd for that. And I think it was sad that they didn't put that much work into it.
They had to do it, and unfortunately, so they had set the present that, well, okay, we have to introduce all of them first, and then we will do Defenders.
It's like the Hulk of it.
I'm sorry, what?
It might have sounded that they worked in a cameo from Stan Lee.
Yeah, yeah. Luke Cage, I was kept expecting to show up. I mean, it would have been nice. I mean, but
Or maybe have just forgotten Iron Fist altogether and have Danny being the organizing factor in the Defenders.
yeah, I mean, if it like you can't if you're just going to throw it out there to throw it out there, we see the result of it. I mean, because now you're leading into the Defenders doesn't have the momentum it could have had you had a really great Iron Fist series. So how do you lead into it? You also have to take how's it gonna lead into it from Luke Cage. Each one is supposed to wrap up something with them. So when it comes down to Defenders has to start something from scratch. So the momentum though from the overall series is what's basically
Nobody gets that.
yeah.
I think that's one thing about recruit. If the Hulk can bounce back, Iron Fist can bounce back.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is, the possibility for season 2 could happen if they're doing him right in Defenders, and it gets people excited about the character again. That's the main thing. Go ahead, right here.
I didn't get the way how they rushed. Kind of, we saw they did Thor and the first Captain America at the same time. It was like a rush into Avengers.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they kind of had that same mentality with Iron Fist, because when Captain America Winter Soldier came back, that came back strong and more developed. So Iron Fist season 2, hopefully they see what they need to do right. this time.
And a lot of people, the good thing is we give them feedback, like they're asking, we're telling them, and that's all you could do. It's like, hey, like you guys got to improve this because we're passionate about the characters, all of them. And Iron Fist is no difference. You want to see the quality in that series pick up to reach at least the level of one of the others. Otherwise, you're not going to make any more of them because nobody's going to watch them.
And I think what the added element that's necessary is putting in that element of camaraderie, like we were discussing. If some of you were at the Justice League movie panel last night, putting in where they're getting along and maybe throwing a little comical banter on each other's approach.
The chemistry between the characters has got to work. I mean, if you eventually do go to a Heroes for Hire series or just Luke Cage, Power Man, Iron Fist, that's going to be established. That Danny Rand and Luke Cage are have good witty banter between them. That you believe that they're best friends. And that has to be established. That chemistry between the characters and in Defenders, what we're looking forward to is the interaction between them all. I mean, how is this going to play out? And the actors and actresses,
We're just going to go and say you're a clueless rich white boy. He's got to prove him wrong.
Try to keep putting him in his zen whenever he gets a little out of control, Luke.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Question that means like a little fear is that Luke Cage is such a strong character that they've been building up. But when he interacts with Spider-Man, he's kind of like the sub guy. Yeah. Because Spider-Man completely overshadows him once he comes in the picture. So they might try to avoid that, because that would ruin all of Luke Cage's growth throughout all his shows.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about from what series? From the comic or?
Yeah, just like comic series, because
Yeah.
everyone was just, oh, Luke Cage just follows Spider-Man. But,
Yeah.
like, they're trying to make him his own solitary character.
Yeah.
And that would ruin that.
Yeah, I think it still's got to come down to, you know, this is all leading towards a team. So, and in this sense, you know, they're going to have to, you know, they have to give each one of them equal time to shine, and I think it includes each character. So, I mean, Luke Cage, we all know how awesome Luke Cage is. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, you know, each character's got to have their moments to really show, you know, why we love him, why, you know, he belongs there. And I think Luke Cage will be fine. I think, you know, from there, I don't see him being overshadowed. I think he's got on his side probably the best casting of it, because I think that Michael Coulter looks just like Luke Cage, you know, just how I would cast him, picture him. So I think, you know, out of them all, I think he's pretty safe. I think he's going to shine. No, he'll be fine. We'll take a few more questions there. Go ahead.
One of the things is, you know, the MCU is basically culminating in Infinity War.
Yeah.
That's kind of their pinnacle.
Yeah.
Do you think the Defenders get completely left out of that? Kind of hoping they don't.
It would be cool to see him. I just like if it's a cosmic threat, I think it would kind of shake up. You know, this is the street level guys. You know, this is the stuff that
Well, Luke Cage,
you know.
Jessica Jones are Avenger level.
Yeah.
So they could actually do something,
But do they want to get involved? That's the thing. Like, is you know, can they be found? You
The
know,
Avengers were always Armageddon
Yeah.
level threats, whereas Defenders are street
Yeah.
level, trying to keep the neighborhood from falling.
yeah, I think this series is closely tied as we can to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's one of the main things, you know, going forward. That you're going to kind of see them on a more realistic level. A few more. Yeah, it's something they're probably going to keep separate. A couple more questions before we do the last two. Yeah. Okay. Right here, go ahead.
I'm kind of agreeing with the crowd on the whole,
Yeah.
Dan Rand
Please.
wasn't built up as much as he should have, and obviously season 2 they focused more on getting him out of the whole confused, angry stage and more into the Iron Fist,
Yeah.
undefeatable, better kung fu and everything.
Yeah.
But I feel like the main part that I personally enjoyed out of the Iron Fist series were the supporting characters like Culling and
Yeah.
forgot her name, the dojo.
Colleen.
That is, oh yeah, I was right.
Yeah, it was Colin Wake. Yeah.
Claire?
And I was also wondering, how do you feel as her as a white tigress? Because like I kind of kept feeling it every once in a while. Yeah, this guy right here.
Which character is the White Tiger?
Colleen Wing?
Yeah, Colin Wing is their own character. I
No,
don't think.
there's a white tiger that they've been using it in the Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh no, yeah, but I think.
It's her and Misty Knight become like a.
Yeah, because Colleen Wing, Misty Knight, I
No,
think.
Misty Knight is Colleen Wing and then Claire Temple. That's
Yeah.
what, Nurses of Mercy or something.
Okay.
Oh, so Claire, so Claire's in that group, and then they didn't introduce a character that could be the White Tiger.
I didn't know Colleen Wing was her own character.
Oh, yeah,
She
yeah.
got the cage fighting thing, and she the more angry she got, the more vicious she got. I was like, oh, I'm seeing a little white tiger.
Yeah.
White tigers just.
She's pretty. Yeah, in that group, she's pretty prominent in the Marvel universe. In that corner, there is Colleen Wing.
Yeah, 'cause it's more street level.
Yeah. If you look her up in the comics and stuff, yeah, she's had a pretty prominent role, at least in some of the series. But yeah, it's a great idea though. I'd love to see the White Tiger. You know, I think this is the series she would fit, more in, all the way back.
This may seem overpressed, but let's say we make kung fu better and everything.
Yeah.
And since he's not trying to, he can't go back to where he was. Do you think in some way Stick from Daredevil is gonna try to help Iron Fist get to where he's trying to be, like with in the kung fu and the meditation and all that stuff, trying to make him more focused, like make Stick more going towards Iron Fist to help him out since he can't really get to Daredevil at this point?
I don't think they'll do that, but I would love to see the interaction between Danny Rand and Stick. I mean, that would be very interesting to see how they would play off of each other. Yeah. Did you have a question? Did you get one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to wrap the panel up. We got a trivia prize for. We want to thank A Different Cloth, who is the provider of the Comicasters shirts. We don't have, unfortunately, ran out of these, but he was gracious enough. Brandon from A Different Cloth, if you look him up on Instagram, he is, we has donated this, so we're gonna do a little bit of a trivia to wrap this panel up, and we thank you guys. So Dan's gonna take it away. He's gonna give us a trivia, and you can win the shirt right here.
Okay, rather simple, quick question, so the fastest hand gets the opportunity to get it, I can tell from there. What actress plays the legal attorney Harper, who plays out both in Daredevil and in Iron Fist?
Yeah.
Carrie Ann Moss.
There it is. Okay.
It is.
There it is. All right, good job, man. Yeah. Come on up this year. I want to thank all of you for joining us here. We're all looking forward to Defenders. Appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you. Sorry if I get a pic with you with it. Yeah, but just send him so he loves seeing the people holding the shirt. So cool. Thank you. Good job too.
Hey, I have a question.
Sure.
We checked out your